every way to animate eyes in a light motion. In this tutorial, I'll show you both the technique and the important basic movements of the eye. Upper lash, we have four main movements of the eye: saccades, smooth pursuit movements, vergence movements, and vestibulo-ocular movements. Saccades are rapid movements, just jump from one place to another or change the point of fixation. Smooth pursuit movement, just track a moving object. Vergence movements allow the eye to move in opposite directions, like cross-eyed and wall-eyed movements, to focus on objects that are close or farther away from the eye. Vestibulo-ocular movement, just stare into the souls of your enemy, not looking away even if you're gonna die. There are two types of eye animation: the eye opening after being closed and the blinking. The difference is that the keyframe would be slightly different. We'll talk about that later. There are two ways to screenshot the eye in Gacha Club: Body Map, Hide Studio. Open Gacha Club. Set the eye color to white. Go to other, then to hide. Turn off display here, then tap on head map and screenshot it. For the high quality one, just hide the limbs and set the skin tone to the background color. Go to studio mode, hit view and screenshot it. Also, screenshot the one with the iris. Open any editing app you have. I like to use Ibis Paint X. Import the screenshots. Select the magic wand, then tap on the background, then on clear layer. If If you see any background remains, you can go to the magic wand settings and increase the expansion. Duplicate the eye, select the magic wand and tap on the sclera, then duplicate it. Go back to the previous layer and tap on clear layer. We now have the lashes and the sclera separated. Hide the sclera layer. Duplicate the lashes 2 times. Hide the layers you're not working with. Select the eraser tool and erase out the mid lashes and the lower lashes part. For the second layer, just erase the lower lashes and the upper lashes part. For the third layer, erase everything except the lower lashes. We're done with the lashes now. You can rename the layers by going to Overflow options and tapping on Rename. I'll just select the pupil and duplicate it and delete the original layer. You can just select the pupil, then invert the selection and then clear the layer. Now bring the screenshot with the iris. Erase everything except the iris. Now add a layer and pick the felt tip pen hot brush. And complete the outline by either bringing the eclipse shape and circling it, or by using Bezier curve, or by hand. Now I drop the iris's colors and fill it, then merge the layers. You can now reorder the layers and make sure they are not hidden. You can clip the layers into the sclera, not necessary. Add a folder and add the layers into the folder by swiping right. Go to the Tools window again and select the lasso tool. Now draw a circle around one of the eyes and duplicate it. Go back to the previous folder and press on Clear Layer. Then tap on Overflow Options and tap on Save as Transparent PNG. Open Alight-O-Motion. Then tap on the plus and go to Media. Select View All. Now enable multiple layer selection and select all the parts of the eye. Then tap on this timing. To reorder the layers, simply tap and hold on the three lines and drag it up or down. To rename the layers, just tap on the layer name and type. Tap and hold on the layer thumbnail to select them and duplicate the scleras. Select the duplicated scleras and add them in a group. It seems quite impossible to mask the sclera without excluding the lashes, so order them by their name. Example: eyelashes are lashes, mid-lashes are mid-lashes. Please order it this way. Select the group of the duplicated scleras, go to Blending and Opacity, and select the Mask Include Blending mode. Rename the group Mask Clara or Mask or anything you want to. Bring the Mask Clara group over the eye highlights. Now you can go to Move and Transform and swipe on the Locations control pad and move the iris around without having it go out of the sclera. You can parent the pupils with the iris or group them, so that you don't have to repeat the painstaking process. To parent layers, just select the pupil, then tap on the Parent Layer button and select the iris. Now when you move the iris, the pupil will also move with it. Or if you cannot parent layers because you don't have premium, just select the iris and the pupil and group them. You can always edit the layers in the group by going to Edit Group. You can also group or parent the two irises together. Go to Move and Transform, then tap on the Location symbol. You just activated the pivot point. Now set the pivot points of all the layers at the center of the eye part. We'll be doing this so the eye closure is always even. You will use location to position the irises and scale them. Place the pivot point here for all the lashes. You can do them differently too. Set these color marks on the layers to identify them easily. One very important thing. If you've masked the sclera, select all the eye layers and add them in a group. If you don't do this, then everything behind the masked sclera will not be visible. You can save the group to Elements by tapping on the three dots, then Save to Elements. The most important part are not the effects but the way you do it. As I mentioned before, you only need to make the eye close using keyframes. These three are the animations you'll mostly make. So let's start with something simple. For this, you just need the open and closed image of the eye. Add 3 bookmarks and add more bookmarks in the middle of those bookmarks. Now split and trim the open eyes and closed eyes. Make sure none of the eyes are overlapping each other. First, do the just blink. Make sure to set the pivot point. Go to Move and Transform and enable Freestyle Scale. Add keyframes at the first bookmark and at the end of the layer and make the eye thinner. Do the same for the other eye layer, but this time make the star thinner. Add keyframes at the start, end, and the middle of the closed eye layer and use location to bring it slightly downwards. Go to the animation easing and set the ease and curve for the open eye. Set the ease out curve for the second eye layer. And ease out, then ease in for the closed eyes. For this, well, do the same thing as Smoother Just Blink, but with the eye element. Add a bookmark at the middle, then at the middle of the middle. This is just for accuracy. Select all the eye layers except the closed eye and split at where the closed eye starts and ends. Now add keyframes at the first bookmark and at the end of the layer again for the eye. Make the eye close halfway on the second keyframe. For the second eye, add a keyframe at the last bookmark at the start of the layer and make the eye close halfway at the first keyframe. Second part, halfway closure open. The easing is the same as the smoother just blink one. I'll also replace the image of the closed eye by going to Color and Fill, Media, then selecting an image. Add the waveform effect onto the upper lashes by going to Effects, increase the magnitude, decrease the spacing if it has too many waves. Scroll the face and bring the wave or the curve in the middle of the upper lash, and the wave should go down. If it doesn't, then scroll the face. You can increase and decrease the magnitude, make the eye open and close. Now add 2 keyframes at the start and last bookmark and increase the keyframes in the middle until the lash bends. You might need to do some adjustments to get the right position. Copy the effect and paste it on the upper lash. Now select the mascara, make sure the pivot point is in the middle. Enable Freestyle Scale and make the layer thin. Use location to bring the lower lash in the middle line, as well as use Freestyle Scale for the mid lashes as well. And yes, the iris is still movable. I learned about this from Aviva Chica's eye tutorial. Add the 360-degree reorient spear effect on the upper lashes. Select the orientation alpha and scroll backwards for the lash to bend downwards. Use the beta orientation for the angle. Then just follow the same process shown in the latter half of the wave bar technique for the other layers. I found about this technique from Adikoshi's tutorial. Add an effect called swirl on the upper lashes. Bring the center to the center of the upper lash. You can adjust the radius and have it make a circle. Increase the magnitude to make it go up and decrease to make it go down. Add keyframes and do the open-close-open keyframing. CBT was the person who introduced me to this method. Add a vector drawing layer. Swipe on the control pad to position the points and tap on it to add a point. Select the point that you want to form a curve on and press on Bezier curve. The circle of the curve is the main control point and the squares are the curve control handles. You can use them to adjust the curve. Change the color by going to Color and Fill, then selecting a color. Now we'll be animating the eye. Switch to keyframe edit mode. Now add keyframes and shade the vector to make it look like a closed eye. Duplicate the layer and flip it horizontally. And then we'll have to repeat the same process shown in the latter half of the waveform method to make the eye close. But when you make the eyes, add the eyelets onto the upper lashes. All you have to do now is bring the upper lashes down using location. To do this, just bring the eye, trim the normal eye to make sure the preset eye does not overlap. Done. For this, just do the same as the switch and go to the end of the eye layer and add keyframes and use Freestyle Scale to make the normal eye slightly thinner at the end. For the preset eye, make it thinner at the start and done.